Welcome, ladies, and Happy New Year. We're halfway through the month, but it's never too late to celebrate a Happy New Year, especially since we got to say goodbye to 2020. But I hope you don't mind that I thought I'd introduce a little nostalgia about the way we used to have our luncheons before we were forced to go into this virtual format. And I also want to thank all of you lovely ladies who have been sending me messages of encouragement for these recorded messages. Hopefully we won't have to do this much longer and we'll be able to do it this way again. But for now, we're doing the virtual, and it's a good way of staying in touch with all of you. First order of business is I'd like to bring on Freth Carroll, our chaplain, who has a devotional for us and a fitting memorial to Annette Stokes. Freth?
Good afternoon again. Well, if you look at the predictions of Nostradamus, 2021 could be worse than 2020, so we don't even want to go there. So let me tell you a story. In a small southern town, much like Lago Vista, a new pastor asked one of his older deacons to lead it in opening prayer. The deacon stood up, he bowed his head, and he said, "Lord, I hate buttermilk." The pastor rolled his eyes and wondered where he was going with this. The deacon continued, "Lord, I hate lard." Now the pastor was totally perplexed. The deacon continued, "Lord, I ain't crazy about flour either. But after you mix them all together and you put them in a hot oven, I just love biscuits. Lord, help us to realize when life gets hard, when things come up that we don't like, whenever we don't understand what you're doing, that we need to wait, see what you're making. After you get through mixing and baking, it'll probably be something a whole lot better than biscuits. Amen." Well, out with the old and in with the new. The past year has rearranged life for almost everybody on this planet. But it has given us time to pause and think about what's important in our lives. A new year is a new beginning, but with all its excitement also comes new challenges, new opportunities, and hopefully new blessings. None of us know what the future will bring, but thanks to the promise of vaccines, we're looking forward longingly for a time when we can put this pandemic behind us. The question now is, what will you make of a fresh start? Have you learned anything from the events of 2020? And will you use these lessons as you move forward in your life? I hope and pray your New Year's resolutions will include lessons learned. When things happen, reflect back on those thoughts when you resolve to meet new challenges with a sense of opportunity and count your blessings. After all, they're another answered prayer. Amen. Well done, my good and faithful servant. Those are the words we all long to hear when we get to the pearly gates. Annette Stokes was a member of the Lago Vista Women's Club. She not only served as president, but on multiple committees over the years. Annette peacefully passed from this world to the next on the afternoon of December the 30th, surrounded by her loving family. She was a woman of strong faith and character, always kind, never complaining, and willing to pitch in wherever she was needed. She will be missed by all who knew her. Our prayers go out especially to her family, her husband, her 3 daughters, her grandchildren, and her great-grandchildren, who we all know will miss her the most. Heavenly Father, we praise you for your unfailing love and compassion. As you bring another angel home, we ask for your comfort and peace to be poured out upon those who were left behind, especially the family of our beloved Annette. May they rest in the knowing that they will one day be reunited in your heavenly realm. All this we ask in your name. Amen.
that nice? And apropos of Annette, Annette was a remarkable, remarkable woman, as I'm sure many of you, if not all of you, already know. She was fervently in favor and a fan of our efforts to raise funds for scholarships. Well, at the most recent EC meeting, the EC all agreed to rename our scholarship committee the Annette Stokes Scholarship Committee in honor of her labors in favor of scholarships. As you probably know, Annette was president twice, and it was always one of her main goals to strengthen our efforts at raising funds for our scholarships. As I was preparing this presentation, I got an excited phone call from Kay Schneider, our scholarship chair, and she informed me of some very exciting news. It's exciting in spite of the fact that the impetus for it is sad, having lost Annette. But Gordon Stokes, her husband, and their 3 daughters have decided to fund the Annette Stokes Scholarship Fund. They have made an initial donation, a very sizable and generous one, and they are inviting anyone who would like to make a donation to the fund to use the specialized button that has been installed on our website on the homepage, where you can make a donation that goes straight to the Annette Stokes Scholarship Fund. This is a beautiful and very meaningful way of honoring Annette and her dedication to the principles of higher education for young ladies. Thank you, Gordon and family. Thank you, all of the members of the Lago Vista Women's Club who will respond to this opportunity. Any donation, large or small, is an honor to Annette. And we thank you all. God bless Annette. I wanted to let everyone know that Bowden Point has now been graced with a swing set, a wonderful place to take your children or grandchildren to play. There's a little bit of parking, and the swing set is a gift from Paul Roberts and his wife. Thank you to both. What a difference a day makes. Have you looked outside? Yes, this is another day and another beautiful, miraculous surprise for Lago Vista. And we have some pretty miraculous things to talk about as well. First thing I wanted to talk about was our decision to have a virtual gala. Now, this is the month that we would normally be worrying about what are we going to wear, when am I going to get my hair done, what's it going to be like, will these shoes be comfortable, convincing our husbands that this is really a smart thing to do, to go to the gala. Well, this year, instead of having a gala that is a fundraiser, and for obvious reasons we cannot get together, we decided to have a fundraiser. Yes, we're going to get together with a very special Zoom meeting after picking up our meal on January 26th. Now, this, instead of picking it up between 11:30 and 12:30, the pickup for the meal that Alfred is preparing for us will be between 4 and 5. And then at 6 o'clock, we'll gather together over Zoom, and we have all kinds of wonderful surprises in store. It probably won't be snowing by then, but we will have the wonderful dinner, which is bœuf bourguignon, prepared with tenderloin beef chunks, very, very delicious, big chunks of tenderloin, in a rich wine sauce with mushrooms and onions, and all the accoutrements that go with a fabulous over-the-top meal prepared by Alfred. Then we will have some petit four for dessert. We are including in each of the bags a light-up wine glass. And it can change color. It's a real nifty, see there, it's blue. You can also get it to change colors as it goes, I believe. It will change colors. Yep, there you go. Now it's blue, now it's, yeah, see how it changes? We'll also be including one of our 40th anniversary mugs. And we have a couple of surprises that I can't talk about right now, but surprises in the bag. Plus, we're going to have an auction. We're going to have an auction for a week, a whole week, at a fabulous hotel called Hotel La Monnaie in New Orleans, just off of the French Quarter. It's a one-bedroom apartment with its own kitchen. And the front door opens onto an atrium, lots of fresh air. As you can see, it is a beautiful location, and it promises to be a wonderful week because it's the week in which St. Patrick's Day falls. So you bid on this full week in New Orleans, and you get to be there during St. Patrick's Day. Can you imagine New Orleans and St. Patrick's Day coming together? You want to be there. And as we progress in our planning for this virtual gala, there may be other surprises that happen in the auction field. Plus, we have a special dance that's going to be performed along with an opportunity for you to dance with it. And you know what this gala is called? It's called the All Right, All Right, All Right Gala, because everything is going to be all right. We are going to survive this situation that we have all confronted, and it will be all right. So it is the All Right, All Right, All Right Gala. You are invited to attend. We can have 100 people on the Zoom meeting. Now, it may sound like mayhem, but actually it works out. People get to see each other's faces, you get to talk to each other, you get to comment on what you picked out to wear. So do join us. The sign up for the gala is on our Luncheon page. It's $25 per person, and it includes everything. You will also get the Zoom code so that you can sign on to the Zoom meeting. It's going to be a lot of fun, and that's what it's all about, is having some fun. We have been relatively successful with our efforts to raise funds, and although we will still fall short of what a gala normally produces, we have had some successes, and this is meant to celebrate our togetherness, because together we shine brighter. Looking forward to seeing you on the 26th. And the last order of business before we move on to see our program from the Open My World Therapeutic Writing Center is to announce that we have a nominating committee. According to the bylaws found in our yearbook, the nominating committee should be announced at the January Luncheon. This is the program for the January Luncheon. And the nominating committee is comprised of 5 people, 2 from the EC and 3 from the general membership. The 2 from the EC is the chair, Lori Ingalls, and her partner, Lori Fish. 2 Loris spelled entirely differently. And the 3 members from the general membership are Robin Burkhart, Paula Riddle, and Patty Nixa. If you have someone in mind to be nominated for a position on the EC, or you yourself would like to step up and serve our club, please get in touch with any of those 5 ladies. We will be posting the nominating form, which is usually distributed at the luncheons. We'll be putting that on our website and on Facebook so you can access it. If you have someone in mind, please contact them before and make sure that they are willing to serve on the EC before you submit their name. And also, if you would like to serve yourself, access the form. You can nominate yourself. And I beseech each and every one of you to search in your heart and soul and see if you are willing to step forward and serve the club. It has been a very challenging year, and I will not hide the fact that not being able to meet for almost a full year it makes it even more challenging to find people who are willing to do the work that needs to be done. The positions that we need to fill are first the president. This is my last year as president. We also need to have a second vice president who is the lunch lady. The responsibilities of the lunch lady have changed a little bit because we have started the prepayment. So it has been simplified to a certain degree. The Ways and Means, which is our third vice president, and as you all know, Ways and Means is usually tasked with producing the gala because it is our major fundraiser. And we are confident that next year we will be able to have a traditional gala. We also need our fifth vice president, which is membership. She helps keep track of all you lovely ladies out there, maintaining the roster, making sure that the person who does the yearbook has an up-to-date version of addresses, phone numbers, etc. And our secretary, who keeps a record of everything that we do in the EC. So if you are willing to serve, please let any one of the members of the nominating committee know. We will put a form on our website and on Facebook that you can use and then send to any one of the members of the nominating committee. Thank you for considering serving the club we all love so dearly. Next year we will be together again. I'm sure of it. And now, without further ado, let's go visit the Open My World Therapeutic Writing Center.
Hello, my name is Michael Vaughn. I've been coming to Open My World for about 3 years now, and it has completely changed my life in ways that I wouldn't imagine. It has made me more active, and it has made me want to reach my goals even more. It has made me sit up more and reach for things, and made me more talkative, really, because the people out here are really nice, and they have really told me I could be anything I wanted to be, and I owe a lot to them for that, because it only goes so far when people tell you you could do anything you want to, but for people that really mean it, it really touches your heart. So I owe a lot to them.
I'm Melissa Corliss, and I'm the Executive Director, and we're so glad to have you at Open My World today. I'd like to thank you guys for coming together and gathering some money to help support us. And what we originally had for the money that y'all gave us was to put in some activities for our arena, polls and things like that, which unfortunately during the year we actually got robbed, and so our tack room was busted into. They stole a whole bunch of things. But the tack was the most precious product that we have, that we put those kids on to keep them safe on those horses, and we lost that. And so we took the rest of your money to replenish our stock and get our tack back up and get our kids back on the horses as soon as we could, because being closed with the COVID, so many of them had regressed, and getting back in there and then having that come up, we didn't want them to not be able to ride again. So I, from the bottom of my heart in this organization, want to thank you for the money that you gave, because it was a huge impact to keep our kids riding when we were faced with a sad time in our organization. So Open My World is a nonprofit that was started back in 2008. It was started by a lady named Donna Rowland who wanted to take her special education and her horse experience and put them together and help kids in our community that have disabilities. We really wanted to be able to give them life skills that they can take outside our gates and go into the world and have productive lives. We have all kinds of disabilities out here, from blindness, deafness, autism, muscular dystrophy, cerebral palsy, whatever disease they have, we're willing to help them to overcome whatever limitations they have from their disease. The horse's walk is exactly the same as our human walk, and so we have kids who are in wheelchairs, and when they get on that horse and they start walking, they're actually walking on that horse without putting any weight on their legs, and so they're using those muscles to gain all those skills that they would not have in any other avenue. But what's great is while they're doing that, they're communicating with their horse to walk on, to whoa, and telling them good job and all that sort of stuff. So it becomes this very relationship equine therapy that's really good for these kids to help them feel confident. I mean, most of these kids are labeled with a disability, and the last thing we want them to do, come out here and feel labeled. So when these kids leave our property, they leave with the confidence and esteem. And one of my favorite memories of all year is this girl who's been trying to do something for several months, and her running down the driveway, yelling at me, "Melissa, I finally did it. I finally did it." And that's what's so great, because her and her horse together were able to achieve a goal that she thought was impossible.
We have kids and young adults here with physical, emotional, or intellectual disabilities, and we use the horse in many ways in helping with these therapeutic options for children. They come out and they build a relationship with the horses. They also groom them and learn how to care for them. The emotional disability clients get a lot out of building the relationship with the horses, and horses are a mirror of our emotions. So if we have anxiety, the horse will have anxiety. If we're fearful, the horse will wonder what they need to be scared of. But if we're confident and secure, open and honest, then the horse will reflect that and be open and honest and secure and just create a very loving situation. And then of course the intellectual disabilities helps with the ADD, any kind of autism or anything like that. It really brings the kids out. And one of my favorite stories is, I've been doing this since I retired, and one of the kids that I helped was a young lady that was not verbal, and after working with her for quite some time, about a year, her mom came in one day and had tears in her eyes and said, "You know, this is great. I heard my daughter say I love you for the first time, so you can't beat that." Sorry, I got a little emotional. But it's very beneficial for these kids, and the horses are living their best life out here because we all care for them. The kids love them, we all love them. It's just a really symbiotic relationship, and we like to think that we help horses help people.
So you're going to find some things out here on the property, and one is we have a Rock of Love garden, and the kids have all been painting rocks, and we actually add their names. It's just a little place for us to remember some of the kids that have actually graduated out here and gone on and done other things, or they've moved away. And so that's just our little love garden that keeps us focused on them all the time, thinking about them and having them in our hearts every day as we go about doing our work here at Open My World. The other part you'll see is a sensory trail. It was a wooded area. We're in the process of doing some more activities out there, but that's where we would like to help their sensory. So where they're touching things, they're hearing things, they're looking for things, and so it helps engage some of those skills that they might not be able to do. One of the great things about equine therapy is that it engages all of their skills. You'll see out there balls for them to engage the different sides of their bodies while trying to remain balanced on the horse. It's kind of been challenging for us the last 2 years. One is because last year our founder died, and what we thought was our forever home property we lost. So we moved twice last year. We moved to a boarding facility for 6 months while we tried to find another location. We're currently at a temporary location. And then of course this year, as we got ready for 2020, we got hit with COVID and was closed down for 3 months. We've reopened, but we're only seeing about 25% of our kids, so we're only receiving about 25% of the revenue that we had in the past years. While that's great that we're still open and stuff, and we're able to reduce as much of our cost, horses have an expense that doesn't go away. And so our horses cost us anywhere from $250 to $450 per horse per month. and that includes all their vet and their feeding. And unfortunately, some of our horses are getting older, and then the last couple of months we've had some horses diagnosed with some disease that's really requiring us to have extra funding to maintain their health. Most of our kids come out here and pay out of their own budget. A lot of these kids fall on that fence and don't really qualify for federal funding or insurance, so they pull it out of their family budgets, and so we try to be aware of that. We're struggling to keep this organization going, but at the end of the day, those kids are so important. And I'm sorry to get emotional, but they're my kids, and they're our kids, and they came in this world and they didn't ask for this disability, they just got it, and they're trying to struggle through it. My cousin had a son who had muscular dystrophy, and I have 2 boys, and he was in the middle of them, and he was like my 3rd son. And unfortunately, when he was 11 years old and my boys were 12 and 13, he turned blue at school one day. So within a couple months, we lost him. And so it was real important for me to give up that American dream of going to a job and working towards your 401k and providing everything you could for your family, to find what I really needed to do in life. And I stumbled upon this organization, and I have seen so many miracles. I've seen kids that are now getting married, and they're getting their college degree, and they're making their plans. And it's so rewarding to be able to go out and do that. And so for me personally, I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting this organization. We are one of a million nonprofits out here trying to do the best we can in this world. But for me personally, this is huge, because I don't ever want to see another family stand at a casket and say goodbye to one of their loved ones. And your support is helping us do that. So I want to thank you.
And that's what Open My World had truly done for me at the end of the day. That is the definition of what y'all do. Y'all give kids with special needs somewhere to go and something to do. Y'all don't know how much I look forward to getting up at 9 o'clock and just preparing myself to come here. Although it's the hardest workout in my life, I look forward to it, because I know at the end of the day, it's gonna make me stronger and it's gonna make me more successful. I love that. Y'all have tremendously changed my life. Whether you know it or not, I will tell you, and I will keep telling you, thank you for what you've done for me, because you don't know how good I feel every Friday when I wake up, because I know where I'm coming. I know I have somewhere to come. So thank you.